Also, I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2
you're
minutes.
Be
you cannot
when
continue
I
to say
the show, but
you
it's
cannot
true.
say that.
So,
That's not the case.
So
Who's the source of that?
What I find, we reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
No. This really gets at it. Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate.
Rules. Case in point, every time the first tweet I see is Elon Musk. If I want to go on that place, it's not being regulated. About 2 years ago, the last line of defense that they had in terms of their morality was someone who quit because he said that he couldn't control his job was to regulate Twitter. He could not control Elon Musk because Elon Musk didn't want it to be regulated. He wanted it to be the world in which it is right now, which is a cesspool, as your wife said. She's a brilliant woman.
She is.
Tell her I said hello.
Thank you, I will.
I think the impulse to restrict speech is a slippery slope, but a dangerous one. More speech is better.
Is it really? Okay.
But do you think so? You actually think that X is the place of free speech?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would argue otherwise. Is it not?
Okay.
I think before he took it over, it was not a great place for conservatives, and now it's a great place for everybody. My view. Okay.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the continued meltdown in the mainstream liberal media over Elon Musk joking about buying X, except everybody knows that low-key it's not really a joke because Elon Musk had shown before that he is willing to purchase these liberal platforms and to turn them into neutral platforms, which is something that scares the left to death, right? They're scared to death of neutral platforms, okay? And that's essentially going to be the whole point of this video, as this CNN panel is going to melt down, get triggered over Elon Musk joking about buying MSNBC. And this conversation really shows you how deranged and delusional the left really is when it comes to free speech, when it comes to what they feel is fair and what they feel is not fair, right? If a platform is not 100% rigged in their favor, then they feel like it's an attack on them, right? And it's just hilarious. It really is. It's hilarious to watch these people fearmonger and the boohoo, whine, and cry when they're clearly not living in the same reality as everybody else when it comes to how they view the social media and the media landscape in general. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I think that we should believe everything that is said coming from this administration. I don't think that we have the luxury to dismiss it as him being someone who's being funny or someone who is just being himself or that is his brand. X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. And you're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if in fact you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't. It's not even for sale.
It's not officially for sale.
The last
it's not
time
even
he
realistic.
mused about maybe buying something,
it's not even realistic in real life. But I do believe that media, everyone sitting here at this table, if you don't agree, we are in for some tough. We're in for some tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
Now, Scott, I want to bring you in here.
Wow. Look at Scott Jennings' face. This is definitely going in the thumbnail, by the way, right? Because Scott Jennings be making these faces where it's like, yeah, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? He's confused. I'm confused. This woman literally just said, under the Trump administration, free speech is not going to be as free. When we quite literally just got out of the most authoritarian administration that we've ever seen when it comes to free speech. I've realized that liberals and conservatives are living in two completely different worlds, right? The difference is that conservatives are living in actual reality And liberals are just living in cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world, right? I'm so serious, okay? I'm so serious about that. And I'm not saying that from a biased perspective. I'm actually taking my bias out of it, right? I'm trying to take my bias out of it when I say that. And it really does bother me that liberals and conservatives can basically look at the same thing and see two different things, right? This woman sees X as a platform that is not pro-free speech because it's not skewed in favor of the left, right? Because there is not more censorship of the right. Less censorship of the right is an attack on free speech to them, right? That is literally how they define free speech, right? The more that the right and opinions they don't agree with are censored, the more free speech, right? Because the left can just dominate the conversation. But the less they are censored, the less free speech they have because they can't just dominate the conversation, which is essentially what has happened on X, okay? And we know this because even CNN reported that X is more ideologically balanced than it was before, and it actually reflects the electorate at large.
Because this kind of link to Orban, we don't pull it from nowhere. There was a former member of the Hungarian parliament who was writing in Politico who kind of talked about this effort by that government and how specific it was in terms of purchasing media specifically for propaganda. Do you hear why they're making that connection?
I mean, is the concern that certain media outlets would become propaganda arms of political ideologies? I mean, don't we already have that in this country at a large scale? I mean, also, I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform
Scott,
of any platform.
Stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
You're going to be embarrassed when I tweet out after the show, but
you
it's
cannot
true.
say that.
So,
That's not the case.
So
Who's the
source of that?
What I find, we've reported it on this network.
Literally CNN. Literally CNN is the source of that. It's just hilarious how these CNN contributors don't even know that their network is the source of Scott Jennings' claim. They don't even know that. But again, it shows you how disconnected from reality they are. They can't believe it. Oh, wait, X is actually balanced? It's a balanced platform? We don't believe that. They just dismiss it off the cuff, even though CNN is the source, right? They're the ones that actually reported on this. Unfortunately, there's just a large portion of people in this country that are just living in a different world, okay? And it's really scary. It really is. This is one of the things I've noticed the most over the last 4 years or so. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. These people are just delusional. They're just delusional. They just refuse to accept things the way they are, so they just make it up.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
Okay, I'll let you make your statement.
Can I
but my point is
can I reframe it a different way? Because the site changed radically, right? So whether you think the voices it is somehow more balanced now, that's fine. But no doubt Musk's influence is profound, and that you open it up and now you're there with his opinion, and he is now part of this administration. So does anyone else think that there should be this greater concern about billionaires purchasing media companies?
Okay. Would you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC?
No, because he's sane.
Because MS in MSNBC.
It was MF.
Ding, 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 ding. You heard what Cari Champion said. Cari Champion, again, is extremely deranged, far left liberal woman who has no clue what she's talking about. In fact, I don't know why the hell she's at this table. She's a sports journalist. She doesn't know anything about politics. Why is she at this table? But anyways, you heard what she said there, right? She said the quiet part out loud. If Bill Gates purchased MSNBC, would you be concerned about it? She said no. So that tells you that they're concerned about Elon Musk purchasing X or purchasing MSNBC has nothing to do with the principle of, well, I just don't think that billionaires should be owning these platforms. No, they totally believe that it's okay for billionaires to own the platform, just billionaires that they agree with politically, right? They're billionaires, right? The billionaires that they like that will subsidize the platform being a propaganda outlet for the Democrat Party, right? This is essentially how it works. And this is why I say that, yeah, I don't have any problems with what Elon Musk is doing, because that's the only way that you fight back against the left. They're already doing it, right? They already have their left-wing liberal billionaires buying up platforms and making sure that they're arms of the Democrat Party. You don't fight back against that by being passive, right? And I'm saying this because there was somebody in the comment section yesterday that responded to one of my videos where MSNBC and Brian Stelter was trying to make this point of, well, it's concerning that a billionaire that's so close to the president is buying up these media outlets. That is how right-wing authoritarianism rises. And I'm like, yeah, that could be possible. But Elon Musk has not shown himself to be somebody that is a right-wing authoritarian. In fact, you guys remember how Elon Musk tried to pay Don Lemon to do the show on the platform, right? So how is it that this right-wing authoritarian, this guy that wants X just to be a cesspool of conservative opinions and right-wing viewpoints, why is it that he decided to offer Don Lemon, who's a left-winger, why did he offer Don Lemon the opportunity to do an exclusive show on X and to get paid, to get preferential treatment? It doesn't make sense. Now, the reason why it didn't happen is because Don Lemon ruined it. Don Lemon ruined it because he was boohoo whining and crying about X not being rigged enough for the left. Which, again, really shows you the mindset of these people. They have the mindset of a child, okay? If they can't have it their way, they take their ball and go, hey, you don't want to censor from us? You don't want to rig it for us? We're just not going to play at all, right? If you don't want to cheat on behalf of the left, they say, well, we're just not going to play because it's not fair. It's not fair if you don't cheat for us. That's essentially their argument. And the crazy part is these people don't even realize that that's what they're saying. That's what they're advocating for. How childish they sound when they come up here and they boohoo, whine, and cry about Elon Musk turning X into a neutral platform because that's literally what it is. It's neutral. But they feel like somehow that is an attack on their free speech. These people are insane. They're insane.
Comes from Microsoft. It was a partnership between Microsoft and NBC way back in the 1990s, back when Microsoft was under investigation by Bill Clinton's DOJ for monopoly. I don't remember anybody panicking over MSNBC back then.
No, they definitely did. But yeah, continue. Well, like Fox was launching, MSNBC was launching. The cable news network was shifting. The landscape
But
was shifting.
isn't the issue that the left has gotten so used to controlling almost all institutional information distribution arms in this country that when one little piece of it, whether it's X or MSNBC or anything else gets taken away, the panic is so outrageous. I mean, that's how used to the left is having control of all of it.
I don't think that that's an accurate assessment when you look at something like Sinclair Broadcasting Group that has purchased most of the local newspapers and local television stations and sends out distributed information that their anchors are supposed to follow for the correspondence. That is a conservative-leaning group. I think the difference, though, I'm not siding with Elon Musk at all here. The one thing to point out is that platforms are not regulated right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated. And so to buy MSN, he would go under some federal regulations.
Who's regulating CNN right now?
The FCC.
We're not a broadcast. It's cable.
I mean, I don't really think cable stations are under the same regulatory structure
doesn't go over public airwaves.
that broadcast is.
It's definitely regulated more than than Facebook and
There's
Twitter.
still, what she's saying is that there's still a litmus test of journalism that you have to pass. You can't
That you
come on
don't have
TV
on
and just
platforms.
make up things and say things. That happens on X. Please don't give me the eyebrow furrow as if you don't know what I'm talking about. It happens often on X. I can go and say the color is blue and I will be met with so many disrespectful remarks. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. No one is regulating how people are
lies.
treated.
How much
or
government
the
regulation
lies.
of the First Amendment are you for?
Let me tell you something. If I came on here and I just started calling you all kind of names, do you think the bosses would let me continue to do that?
I mean, it happens to me occasionally. I don't know if you
well,
watch
it
the
doesn't
show.
happen to you, but it doesn't happen
does
for me.
happen.
And I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a level of professionalism in what we do here because we are journalists and we adhere to something, at least morally. And there is no moral compass on this thing called
You're
X.
also having a
Yeah. So again, just listen to these people talk. If you listen to them talk, they tell you everything you need to know about how authoritarian they actually are, right? This woman is literally saying that, well, X is not a peaceful place and that I don't like X because people say mean things to me. Therefore, it should be regulated. She's calling for the government to regulate people saying the N-word. That's what she's calling for. The government needs to regulate these platforms, or that there should be some regulation because people say mean things to her. As if Ben Shapiro And any right-wing leaning person on X doesn't have mean things said to them. I think, for example, I get people calling me the C word all the time, and I can't say it out loud because YouTube will demonetize the video, right? But you guys know the animal, okay? They put the C word emoji in the comments all the time, right? On YouTube as well, too. Happens all the time. Do you ever see me out here boohoo-whining and cry? YouTube and X, they need to regulate the platform more because people say mean things to me. No, I never say that. Because I understand that free speech is free speech. I might not like what somebody has to say. It might not make me feel good, but I respect their right to say it, okay? But again, that's not how these liberals think. They literally believe that, yeah, if somebody says something to me I don't like, it should be regulated by the government if necessary. And that's what they're so upset about when it comes to Elon Musk, is the fact that he's not regulating enough. And also this idea that, well, on X, you can just say anything, but on cable news, you can't, right? There's actually standards for cable news. Really? Are there really standards for cable news? Because I would actually argue that if you are a leftist, there are no standards. You can say whatever the hell you want on cable news, and you're going to be fine. Again, as long as it goes along with what the establishment deems to be acceptable. Like, for example, you could say that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. You can claim that inflation is transitory. You can say that the economy is great, that crime is down, that the border is not open, that videos of Joe Biden losing his mind, they are cheap fakes, right? They're not real, okay? You could also spread misinformation about the vaccine, okay, about the pandemic, which is what they were doing the whole time, but they were presented as if it was fact. Again, I would actually argue that, yeah, you actually can go on cable news and say a whole bunch of falsehoods and spread misinformation / disinformation, again, as long as the establishment agrees with it. So yeah, this is an example of how liberals and conservatives are just living in two completely different worlds, right? Except the difference is that conservatives are living in the real world and liberals are living in some other world, right? Maybe they're already on Mars or something. I'm not entirely sure where they're at, okay? But what I do know is that the authoritarian tendencies from the left are scary. They are extremely scary. Just listen to these people talk. It's just authoritarianism just being spewed out of their mouths the whole time. They're just telling you how much they just don't like anybody they disagree with politically. So therefore, they want more regulation. They want more government. They want more crackdowns on political opinions that they don't like. And that's it. And then they'll turn around and tell you, well, that's pro-free speech, right? Being pro-free speech is censoring people they don't like. That's the mental gymnastics going on here. Again, it's scary stuff, man. It's scary stuff that you have people like this in this country that think that way. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.